IVM.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 108 of Shunya One. We have an excellent episode coming up with Henrik from Trustly.
Hey, Henrik. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the podcast one second time around.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Hi. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes. And of course, we met in Stockholm on my trip to Stockholm during Tech Week. And we actually did have a nice chat back then. But here we are. I'm in Mumbai and you're back there and we're doing this call on the phone, on Zoom actually. So glad to have you here. And I'm saying this because for everyone else listening in case, it's not the same as recording a podcast right in the same room, but we had a good chat and I'd like to, run through that with you one more time. So if you could just share your story and the story of Trustly, and of course, where you go from here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was certainly a nice chat in Stockholm. Basically, Trustly is a global account-to-account payment platform built on payment initiation services, which is basically an application that the consumer used to initiate transfers from their online bank. And we additionally support payments to your bank as well. So for merchants that hook up on the platform, they can receive payments from consumers' bank accounts, account-to-account transfers directly, and send payments via our platform directly to consumers' bank accounts. I've been with the company since March 2009. The company was founded during 2008, so I was very early on the platform in the company. I've had numerous roles since working with the three founders that I joined then, building the company, and have from 2014 worked with expansion and in the product team, rolling out the support from the Nordics where we started to cover entire Europe. And additionally been involved in working with the payment initiation services regulation, the revision of the payment service directive in Europe, from its early days being introduced to the European Commission and the European Central Bank, who wanted to know more about our technology and what we could do to foster innovation and competition in the European Union. And this has now been rolled out in new regulation, and we're currently sort of operating in that market space. But that's not all. Online banking and account-to-account payments is like a new payment rails that we're rolling out globally. So as of now, I'm part of our most recent merger, a US company called Pay with My Bank, that I am now joining their team and building on the global platform.
Wow!
To make account-to-account payments global. It was, in the 70s that Visa and MasterCard rolled out a global payment scheme like this last time, and we're really happy to be able to do that again.
Wow. So a little bit more on the history, just to ask you one more time, right? This is actually coming from India, by the way. We've actually seen a upheaval in our Fintech sort of space here over the past few years. The government's really helped in scaling up payments in general, right? At our end, there's a lot of bank-to-bank payment, person-to-person, person-to-merchant, and all of these suddenly payments have become fairly easy or straightforward. But the rest of the world, including the US, since you mentioned it, has actually been a little slow, right? I mean, the only other company I can think of, like globally trying to do something like has been PayPal, and they've been growing steadily, but there's still so much more opportunity. So where do you think you guys saw the success you did, and how? Like, what were the main factors for the growth and success that Trustly had?
Well, the payment industry has, there's partly a lot of competition and a lot of people talk about innovation, but Well, to be frank, the innovation usually comes from another layer, a new UX or a new user interface on top of existing payment infrastructure. And what we do is basically roll out a new type of infrastructure, utilizing the current local clearing systems around, basically building a new clearing and settlement system on top of the current ones, connecting everything to one big account-to-account payment network.
Mm-hmm.
And this fragmentation and localization have suffered a lot of fees. It's problematic for merchants to grow internationally and not to talk about globally, trying to connect all the consumers that just want to pay from basically their account where they have their money, they get their salary in,
mm-hmm.
To the merchant's account in the simplest way.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this as we looked at this these schemes where money has to move and all the layers and all the fees and all the complexity that are added as these have been scaled. Remember, they were rolled out in the 70s, the card network. So and they founded and built in the 60s. So they are they're old, really old.
Yeah.
So, and we really saw the benefit and the power of cutting through all of these middlemen and all of this complexity and simply building a structure serving account to account. Send money from account where you get the salary in directly to the merchant account where the money should be reconciled. And then on that, we built features that these merchants operating internationally can benefit from. Naturally, there are obstacles in currencies. There are obstacles in international clearing and settlement. So we built a platform on local clearing and settlement, utilizing the strengths and benefits of the local systems and simply combining them all into one platform. And that's the Trustly global account-to-account network.
Interesting. And tell us a little bit more about.
Additionally, of course, in payments, and this is something that it's really interesting to see. Payments are usually defined as the possibility to pay for something.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's world, when you buy things online, it's not as common, but almost as common that you need to return something and get refunded for that.
Yeah.
And there's an additional feature that we have a lot of interest from in the market where, as a merchant, it's really simple to just return the funds to the account where they originated from in a simple refund. Something that I, as a consumer, often wish that the merchants should be better at offering.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the nature we have gotten used to now because, you buy stuff, you return stuff. But I actually wanted to ask, and it's an interesting thing that you mentioned returns, because I wanted to ask where your name actually came from. Like the Trustly angle, the trust angle in payments, right? Of course, is a huge thing. So what was the focus on trust and, of course, and hence the name Trustly that you really saw, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that payments today, they need to be simple and they need to be convenient, and safety is like something that everybody requires anyway. People refer to, you're not a payments company unless you can do it safe. Mm-hmm. The entire Trustly product suite is built on and carries the same level of security as your online banking environment. The system operates and lets you utilize the same authentication methods that the bank offers. There's no way to circumvent that or to come around it. You have to authenticate each payment individually, which carries that. And on that topic, in the payment industry today with its competition, it's not, you have to have safety top notch, and cover that. You're out of the market faster than fast if you can't fulfill that. So that's one of our
core principles
in our DNA.
Yeah. So given that, this is also one of the reasons why a lot of startups don't easily break into payments, right? I mean, I keep hearing about the fact that there's a lot of tech which is not trivial. There's a lot of infrastructure which is old. There's a lot of regulation you have to meet. And there's also competition, which means your margins are low, and like you need a lot of scale to actually see any money. So given your unique setup, I mean, you started in Sweden and now you're going global. What's been those reasons? What's been the main reasons you saw that it worked? Like, did you choose to focus on certain things only and sort of drill down, or even certain regions for that matter, because even regulations come with individual countries, I'm guessing. So
yeah, well, there are a couple of reasons, I'd say, looking back, and I kind of often get this question, and one of the things that I often answer firsthand is the fact that we've been true to our core. We started, or the company was founded around account-to-account payments. Mm-hmm. And along the way, during these 10, almost 11 years, we've come across so many options and possibilities in business cases and merchant cases, etc., around payments. And the fact that we've constantly remained focused on being the best account-to-account and only, account-to-account payment processor, and only been doing that, mm-hmm. is one thing, to stay true and really stay focused on that. Secondly, from scratch, the founders really introduced into the genes of the company and really built the company around automation and simplicity. Mm-hmm. Not doing anything unless you could automate it, or you could over time simplify it so much that it would be competitive against the other payment methods out there. Like I said initially, what we were looking at back then were payment networks and payment methods offered with huge overhead systems or complexity and many partners or many layers involved, etc. And evidently, our business model in cutting through all of this and simply processing payments account to account gives us a good competing advantage in going out to the market.
So when you say account to account, you're actually bypassing most networks. Like you're working with individual banks of consumers and individual banks of merchants. Is that right?
Well, yes. We build support for a bank on our network, giving the possibility for account holders in that bank to utilize it to pay in the payment window based in the cashier with online merchants.
Mm-hmm. So you also work with the merchant to integrate your option as a payment method.
Yes, exactly. So we sell to merchants, offering them to let their consumers pay them with this service safely and convenient directly from their online bank. Yeah.
Great. And after the EU, you mentioned that you're of course expanding to the US, and you're working with another company you've merged with over there. So what's been the reason for choosing the US as a market after your current EU position? Like, what's been the key insight that makes you go there and see that as a opportunity for you guys?
Well, first of all, size. We just we're looking broad all over the world, and the US is, like many other companies, a crown jewel that we, of course, want to be. Where we want to be present. Mm-hmm. But additionally, the payment infrastructure in the US is old. It's being revised now, and they're rolling out a new RTP instant payment service that we're looking at, and we have a lot of global merchants interested in a global offering. So there's a lot of traction from that market.
Is it?
But we're looking all over the world.
Yeah. Is it because, I mean, again, the consumer base, of course, is there, and in fact, even the merchant base is based out a large merchant base in the US as well. But what are the immediate challenges you see in taking this to any other region for that matter? I mean, you've had like you said, 10 years of experience in the EU, working with different governments and banks and merchants. What going outward into the world? What are your first sort of expansion strategies?
Well, looking back at Europe and our expansion there, it's we have a lot of experience of bridging different cultures and different currencies and different clearing systems, and looking at that, some things are more crucial than others. Among other things, educational level and as well as technical backbone infrastructure in the market. India is one example, something that we've looked at, where people basically have leapfrogged into mobile banking directly, and a well-functioning instant payment scheme that is up. If these two components are met, if there's interest from the population in early adopters and high internet penetration, et cetera, and a good technical backbone, usually there's what we seek is available and of interest to us.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to ask if you've looked at India, because even looking east, right, India, Southeast Asia is sort of, like you said, really jumped one step in, now expecting payments to be always instant. I mean, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't get my money as a merchant or as a consumer instantly from wherever it has to show up.
Exactly, yeah, and this is it's really fun to be part of this evolution in the payment industry, because payments have a lot to give still. In terms of even the shipping industry is sometimes faster than the payment industry, and that's not as it should be.
Yeah, I don't think. Just a fun fact: I haven't written a check, I think, in years, but I've done probably a dozen payments this week already. So that's the whole point. I think in the US, even where you're heading, people still write checks and do business, transact with money on paper. I mean, apart from cash, that is.
Absolutely, there's a lot to do in several markets all over the world. Interesting times
to automate and of course to make our money easier. Do you want to do a shout out to maybe folks who are listening in? Of course, there's a lot of people who are listening in from India and Sweden. How is your team, and what kind of folks do you have on the team? Where are your offices if you're looking for folks to join, work with you in this interesting payment space?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm just joining the US team. They have their offices in Silicon Valley in California, and we have one tech hub. I just saw an ad on LinkedIn the other day. We're looking for people in both Vitória and Brazil, where we have one offices, one tech hub, and we have another one in Portugal, and our main tech hub in Stockholm, Sweden. If you haven't been to Stockholm or Sweden, it's a must. Drop by in May, June, July, August, where Sweden is as the best, enjoy the wonderful country, and it's very open-minded and nice people, as well as it's sometimes very dense tech scene with a lot of tech companies, especially in payments, but also other areas around.
No, definitely. I had a great time. I visited your office and it was beautiful. It was actually a great summer day as well. So I do remember that catch up, and of course Stockholm is amazing. So we've been lucky to have a chat with quite a few Stockholm-based startups, and of course have a lot of interest from India as well in what opportunities lie there. But thank you so much for doing this, Henrik. I think this was a great chat one more time around, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you, and of course, all the best on your move to the US, and a lot of interesting stuff to do there.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you, and really looking forward to following your podcast.
Yes, you'll be hearing this soon. Do you have a Twitter handle or a place where people can maybe find you that you want to just say a shout out to, and we'll include it in the bottom?
Unfortunately, I'm a more LinkedIn, email, phone guy. So unfortunately, I don't have Twitter.
But we'll drop in a link to your LinkedIn for everyone else.
Absolutely. Sure.
All right. And then to everyone else listening, thank you so much. And of course, if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you're listening to this podcast, make sure to drop in a rating or a review or give us some feedback. And of course, we have a Slack channel. So if you want to join the Slack channel, go to ivmpodcast.com/Shunya One and request to join. Look forward to chatting with you all again next week. Thank you so much, Carl Henrik.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you enjoy listening to content on the IVM Podcast Network, let me tell you about a couple of things that you should check out this week. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Dinkar revisit the 1995 film Batman Forever as a warm-up for their event on Saturday, Bat Fan Forever. On Ganatantra, Alok and Sari are joined by Dr. Aparna Chandra. They talk to her about the politics of the judiciary. On Know Your Kanun, Amber is joined by Shreyas Petkar, Executive Director of PricewaterhouseCoopers. They talk about compliance regimes, startups, licensing, entrepreneurship, and more. On Heal and Hearty, Rachna is joined by two cancer warriors, Colonel P.N. Kera and Parul Thukral, who share journeys of healing and their triumph over cancer. On Agla Station Adulthood, Ritasha and Ayushi talk about the idea of home and walking the fine line between independence and dependence. On IVM Likes, Ritika Madhuri, Alika and Antariksh discuss how they would curate their own streaming services. On the Empowering series, Zarina is joined by Bollywood actor Gulshan Devaya. He shares great insights from the various roles he's played and the challenges he faced while doing so. Thanks, and we hope to see you again soon.
Hi guys, this is Ayushi.
And I am Ritasha.
And welcome to Agla Station Adulthood.
It's a fun podcast we've got going on, and we'd love for you to tune in and enjoy with us.
Join us as we stop at various stations and discuss different topics that seem to be bothering us and hopefully
Dating,
you as well.
relationships, beauty, just being an adult, lots of different things.
We don't have a great grip on it, but we've done okay so far.
Catch Agla Station Adulthood every Thursday on the IVM app, the IVM website, or wherever else you get your podcasts.